Boys, we're back to Hawkins again, huh? Upside down and all around. Woo! We're all inside. Word of the warning. This is going to be my spoiler-filled thoughts on Volume 1, the last season of Stranger Things. So yes, we're back to Hawkins. The characters are back on the grindstone, boys. Season 5 opens up and we learn that Hawkins is under quarantine because of the big split that happened in the end of the last season. The military are enforcing curfews and strict rules on the residents. They're not allowed to leave Hawkins. We're also catching up with all the gang, all the kids, all the older kids, all of the characters we love. We soon learn that Vecna has not been seen in a while and Hopper has been undertaking the crawls. And it just so happens everybody has a bad feeling about the next crawl. Crawls are essentially where Hopper sneaks into the upside down world and he searches different zones looking for Vecna or monsters because he hasn't seen monsters in a while either. So some folks believe Vecna is dead, some folks believe he's hiding, so there's a lot of tension building. It's very well done. So Hopper does his crawl and the convoy gets ambushed by Demogorgons, or one Demogorgon. And while this is happening, Will is in the right side up and he's actually linked into the vision of the Demogorgon. You're seeing it through the eyes of the actual monster, which is pretty cool. And the reasons being for this we'll get into a bit later, but Will is connected to the hive mind. Also, there was a lot of buzz around Holly Wheeler, who'd be Mike's sister. A lot of buzz around this character being a big part of the final season, which makes sense. In the first episode, we learn that she's been talking to an imaginary friend in the form of Mr. Watson, or Vecna. Yes, we learn later that Vecna is Mr. Watson and he's brainwashing these kids so he can take them to the upside down world and kind of mold them into vessels, whatever that means. But we'll get into that a bit later. So eventually, Will taps into a Demogorgon and it's headed right for the Wheeler's house. It opens a gateway into Holly Wheeler's room to try and take her back to the upside down world. But she runs to her mom, and we get one of the best tension-filled sequences in the new season so far, involving a bubble bath, and it's really well done. But eventually, the Demogorgon does end up taking Holly Wheeler, and it wrecks her parents in the process. Meanwhile, Nancy and Eleven are en route to try and save her parents. I gotta say, it was pretty gory, man. This season is showing some gore, I will say that much. But anywho, Nancy arrives, she starts to help her mom, and Eleven follows the Demogorgon into the Upside Down to try and get Holly back. Nancy and Mike then try to talk to her mom in the hospital to try and understand better who this imaginary friend is who was talking to Holly. They end up figuring out that his name is Henry, and Henry is Vecna. Meanwhile, in the Upside Down, Eleven can't find Holly. She's blocked out of her mind for some reason. But she does bump into Hopper. They end up finding a big wall that's built around Hawkins in the Upside Down world. The military is also looking for Eleven at the same time, and Eleven and Hopper end up clashing with the military in the Upside Down world. They interrogate one of the officers and find out that the military have a base set up in the Upside Down world, as well as the right side up. Kay is like the leader of the military group in the Upside Down world, aka Sarah Connors from the original Terminator. So I guess she's been looking for 11 for reasons we don't really know yet. So we're gonna hopefully find out a bit more later on as the show goes on. But 11 does figure out she's holding someone or something powerful in the military base. So her and Hopper, they break into the military base and they break into this special room where they're holding this mystery person. 11 thinks it's Vecna, but it's not. It ends up being number 8, or the person who 11 met yonks ago. So this is like the first biggest reveal we got in the new season, and to be honest, I fucking found it so disappointing, man. I thought it was going to be so much better. How about this? How about you make the mystery person Eddie Munson and bring him back from the dead because he's a fucking legend? Going back up to the right side up, we're kind of focusing a lot on Will and Robin. They're kind of building this new friendship this season, and it's a big part of the story. Personally, I don't really like Robin's character. She has this quirky, nervous talking twitch thing. For 2 dialogue sequences is fine, but 5 and 6 long dialogue sequences with her just starts getting on my nerves a bit. The other problem I have with them focusing on Will and Robin so much is other characters are really getting sidelined, man. Steve, who's my favorite character in the show, Dustin, Jonathan, and Nancy, they're just cooped up in a van looking for signals, bickering at each other for the whole 4 episodes. It's so fucking shit, man. It's the final season. Like, give them something more entertaining to do than that, you know? However, they do end up going into the Upside Down world together, and they're about to go on their little adventure in the Upside Down. So maybe we'll get a bit more time with them in the later episodes. So, as I mentioned earlier, Vecna, he's taking kids, he wants to turn them into his vessels. But it really doesn't explain much more than that. It just says they're easy to kind of bend and shape, I guess. One of those kids he's trying to take is Derek, and Derek's a little fucking legend, boys. Hell yeah. Derek, he's kind of the comic relief character in the first 4 episodes. He's hilarious, man. What ends up happening is the military takes the kids they think Vecna is coming after. They transport them to the right side up military base so they can protect them or use them as bait. And so Mike, Will, Lucas, and Robin kind of tried to break them out, and Joyce. And in the process of breaking the kids out of the facility before Vecna gets there, shit fucking hits the fan, man. This is where we get our big reveal that we've been waiting for. Vecna, he walks out of the main gate that the military are using. And this man fucking wrecks like 200 soldiers on a military base. There's fucking demogorgons jumping around, fucking eating people's faces. It's a fucking very entertaining sequence, man. One of the best sequences in the show so far. And it's fucking gory, man. He uses his fingers like a fucking tree branch that can extend. There's one point he like fucking picks up fucking somebody's fucking head and sticks his fingers through their eyes, man. It's fucking crazy shit. But I love it. I do have an issue with this though. So he comes onto the military base, he murders all the soldiers. He could have easily murdered Mike and Joyce, like two of the main people that have been wrecking his plans. But he just doesn't. He leaves the demogorgons to eat them. And he just fucking leaves. And it just, to me, I was like, well, that's convenient. You could have just easily murdered them like you just murdered everyone else. But no, they're the main characters, I suppose. But as the demogorgons are about to eat everybody, Will gets like a flashback of all the memories he has with Mike. And I was sitting there and I was like, yes, this is it. Will's gonna fucking die saving everybody. This is fucking final season sauce right here. But we get like a really cool reel of his memories with Mike. And then he fucking lifts up all the demogorgons because I guess he's part of the hive mind and he's part of Vecna's mind. So therefore he can tap into his powers, I guess. But anyway, he lifts up all the demogorgons and he fucking wrecks them. And I was like, okay, he's gonna save everybody and die in the process, and then shit is gonna be crazy for the next 4 episodes. But no, he kills the demogorgons, saves everybody, which is really nice to see. But he just stands up and has a nosebleed like 11 usually does. So I guess Will has powers now or something is what it's hinting at. It really confused me. Anyway, that was the second kind of big reveal we got in the new season so far, and that's kind of where it ended. My thoughts really are that it's like a new good season. It doesn't feel like the last ever season. The tone is definitely tense and the tone is dark as well at times, and it's good when it's that way. But still the stakes are just not high enough, man. I don't know. Everybody is conveniently always safe somehow. And it's like, come on, like we're last season, make it exciting, you know? Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the show. I will be looking forward to the next 4 episodes, but I think the stakes need to be a little higher for me to really get the excitement out of it. Also, fucking bring Eddie Munson back, you cunts. That's all I got for today. Good luck.